But I mean, if you've never studied the Korean War, goodness gracious, you got to study that sucker. Um, but I mean, it was just as brutal, if not more so than much of the World War II experiences. But South Korea was okay. Ended up meeting my wife while I was over there online. It was not a planned thing per se, but that's how we met. And um, so I was there for a year, and then I came to Fort Stewart, which is down. If you're not familiar with where Fort Stewart is, it's just outside of Savannah, Georgia, and really fell in love with the low coastal life while I was there. Enjoyed Fort Stewart. It wasn't as nice, if you will, as Fort Lewis for sure, but pretty good place, pretty good environment. A lot of fun things to do in Savannah, River Street, so on and so forth. Really enjoyed it. My girlfriend at the time, then fiance, now wife, she was here in Georgia, up in North Georgia. And so I would go travel to see her, and our relationship, of course, grew. Of course, we're married now, but Fort Stewart was good. But when I was at Fort Stewart, I was closing in on 10 years of service, and so this is 2012, 2013, and end up, just a lot of accumulating injuries was forcing me to make a decision. Either continue to struggle with what I was doing, and possibly just get discharged out of the military, chaptered out, because there was a lot of guys who was on and off profile that was just having these kind of struggles that was just getting pushed out, or take a medical discharge, which I took a medical discharge, ended up just receiving the discharge and the severance pay. I was honest about an injury being pre-existing the Army, and because of that, the higher ups, I guess, in the Army medical, they said, okay, well, we're just going to give this guy the medical discharge and not retire him. So I didn't get the retirement, but they kind of gave me a severance pay, washed their hands of me, basically, kind of a deal. But it was 10 years. I always say it was probably the best 10 years of my life, from 26 to 36, and I wouldn't trade anything for it. There's a lot I shouldn't say a lot. I do have some regrets, that I didn't fully pursue it, the way I could, but because I was in it for 10 years, but I was so passionate about wanting to become a high school football coach and teach high school history, that was pretty much where I was kind of, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, in a sense. And I wish I kind of pursued, more of the Army, in a sense, and allowed the future plans of teaching and coaching to take care of themselves after I got out. But I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do to go back and change it. And so after the discharge, of course, I got married in May 31st, 2014, and so I've been married for a little over 7 years now, and went to school, went to 2 different schools. Ended up not getting a teaching degree. There were some issues there I'm not going to go into, but that kind of whole plan kind of fell apart. Again, kind of a personal discovery time in my life, and but part of that too was just trying to readjust to civilian life, and because you might not realize, whenever you're you become someone indoctrinated with, just the way things are in the military. And that was kind of just where I was at. So ended up getting out, having a long It was a long time to find myself again. Reestablish myself in the civilian marketplace, work, volunteer. What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? And I know this is resonating with thousands of veterans. You just kind of find yourself in this spot where you don't know who you are anymore. And I was no different. And struggling with, how does the civilian population react with you? How do they respond to you as a veteran? And that was a challenge. But ultimately, things have, over an 8-year period, because it's been 8 years since I've been out, basically, things have kind of started to slow down a little bit. And I'm finally able to kind of get reestablished and find a new passion in life. And that is podcasting, it's sharing stories, it's writing. I'm currently writing, I guess, kind of a biography or memoir, if you will. And that's kind of what I'm looking to do. And so the Valor Company podcast is just basically that. It's telling stories of what sacrifices the American service member has made all through the Republic's history. And I hope I can bring that to you on a very, very regular basis. And, I just look forward to growing the community with you. And I look forward to reading comments. And I will at some point create more content. Working on definitely, I got the YouTube channel along with this podcast. You might be watching this on YouTube right now, but I've got that. I'm working on merchandise, so on and so forth. I will create a Patreon account in the future for people who might want to support the Valor Company podcast in that way. But I'm still needing to kind of work out, kind of how I want to structure that, so I have something that I can really offer the supporter. Because your money is valuable. If you decide to donate money to me, I want to honor your gift because I want to earn it. And then basically just try to, at some point, hopefully this will grow to where I can help, maybe even establish a nonprofit in helping struggling veterans find their way after they get out of the military. But this is just basically a quick introduction to who I am, and kind of where we all kind of fit together within this fabric of sacrificing for the American Republic. So until the next time, thank you for joining me on the Valor Company podcast.